Good morning. Happy Tuesday to the Ungovernables, the Captain's Crew, the LFA family, McGroin Nation, coming to you live from the deep red state of Tennessee on rumble.com/LFA TV, also on X. Welcome to Ungoverned. Happy to be here on a Tuesday. As I saw somebody on X call it Temper Tantrum Tuesday. Because, you know, you got a lot of lefties on there going absolutely crazy with everything. And there's bots and maniacs out there that are just, they can't get it together. They can't keep it together. But it is a happy Tuesday. It is a Trump Tuesday, of course, as we'll be on later tonight on Spaces. Back-to-back tonight. It'll be fun. And now it'll be more manageable because I found out that it was actually the Zyrtec that was causing the sore throat. I was taking something to prevent the sore throat that was making the sore throat worse.
The dirty Zerty.
The dirty Zerty. So, the note to self and to anybody, Zyrtec D is not good to take regularly. Don't do that. We have a packed... I mean, there's a lot of... Look, we got some good news on here. ICE detaining child predators again. What is it with these illegal aliens and child predators? It's like they all seem to be these nasty people who are preying on children. Odd that seems to be a developing trend, right? That we've seen that a number of times. So we have that ICE nabbed 4 of them in New Jersey. The FBI shut down a massive child porn distribution website. So we will get to that as well, because those are good stories, right? Those are, I mean, the fact that these things exist aren't good, but the fact that they've been removed and that they've been caught and that they've been shut down are good. We've got a not so good story, although, again, a corrected problem in Maine with this Jamaican me crazy illegal alien who was arrested in Maine. Funny little twist there. Obviously, the shooter in New York City yesterday, the memes are going around. At CNN referred to this guy as a white male. He wasn't. A
white male?
Yeah. So there have been memes going around of like a picture of a black bear and being like, CNN is looking for this polar bear on the loose, right? Like it.
That's crazy.
So I put up a post this morning that was well received by many, it seems. Where is it? I'll read it for you right now. And it offended the right people, of course. You know, the woke right who believes that, you know, here we go. Dear CNN, Blair White is a white male. Bruce Jenner is a white male. Representative Tim McBride is a white male. Leah William Thomas is a white male. Dylan Mulvaney is a white male. The New York City shooter is not a white male. Okay, thank you for your attention to this matter. Very true. All right. So we are gonna rag on CNN. I also want to show you some funny clips from yesterday's meeting Trump had with the English Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. Nobody roasts people to their faces, much like Donald Trump. So I do want to start off on a funny note. Here is Donald Trump talking about the issues that are going on over there in Europe, you know, with all the illegal immigration and the downfall of the European continent.
You know, Europe is a much different place than it was just 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And they've got to get their act together. If they don't, you're not going to have Europe anymore as you know it. And you can't do that. This is a magnificent part of the world, and you cannot ruin it. You cannot let people come in here illegally. And what happens is there'll be murderers, there'll be drug dealers, there'll be all sorts of things that other countries don't want. And they send them to you, and they send them to us, and you've got to stop them.
Yeah, you can't disagree with that, can you? You can't disagree with that at all. All right, we got more from the meeting between Trump and Starmer, especially where Donald Trump criticizes directly the mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, which is funny, Khan, but it should be spelled Con, because it's a total con job. You know, it's a total con job. You look at Sadiq Khan, it's Sadiq Khan, like con job. Trump missed an opportunity there. He should have done that. Maybe he'll do it in the future. He should refer to him as Sadiq Khan Job, because that guy in London has presided over the downfall of that city. We'll get to that in just a second. And then we'll get into the ICE story, because I love me some deportations. I love me some ICE raids. I love me some arrests on that front. My number one issue between Spygate and ICE, I mean, they're right there with each other. There haven't been any more developments on the Spygate front, so we're back to deportations and crazy names and all of this. By the way, speaking of crazy names and crazy people, we had dinner last night with Speak and his lovely wife, Bad Moon, and his lovely wife.
And their sweet daughter.
And
She
their
was
sweet
awesome.
daughter. She was great.
We had the best time.
It was a good time. Party foul. You will not find better
like
food
I
in
wasn't
this
ready
state
to
of
leave. I just wanted to keep chatting with
Yeah,
everybody.
it
Like,
was
that
a lot of
so
fun.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun. So everyone's asking, where's Bad Moon? Hopefully he survived Party Foul's hot chicken. No, I think he's fine. It was good. Their travel jerky, by the way, was delicious.
Oh my gosh.
And speak the truth in the chat, right? His billionaire bacon, which has been
Billionaire bacon.
perfected, is like, oh,
It's crack.
you got to be careful, because you eat too much of that, you wind up right in the hospital. It's just that it's that good. It's like the best of both worlds.
They
Sweet.
brought us a huge thing of their like goods, their produce from Speak Farms.
We have like
Oh my
we got a care package of eggs and produce and spices and all sorts of good stuff. So it's really cool. Party Foul, Nashville. It's my favorite place in the state. The chicken is so good. I had the Nashville hot chicken, fried chicken on top of mashed potatoes.
potatoes. And an
And collard
honorary
greens.
mention for Winky, because she and her husband were supposed to
Yes,
be there.
honorary mention for Winky.
So they were there in spirit.
They were there in spirit.
When I get the picture from Mendy,
Yeah.
Badman's wife, I'm gonna like superimpose.
We
them
could
into the picture.
Photoshop them in. Yes, we could Photoshop them in. So a lot of fun last night. All right, before we get to all the juicy stuff here this morning, hey, let us know where you're watching from. Make sure you're sharing the show before we get into all the juicy stuff, all the goodness, some of the good things that are happening right now. I want to talk to you about OFP Farms, some more good things that are happening. You know, we broke out once again. Every time we go to dinner, we break out our OFP Farms. There was a good 20 to 30 minute conversation at the table about how great OFP's products are. I was using some lip balm, and I think it was Bad Moon. It was like, Goat Kisses lip balm. There it is. You know, it's always on me. It's right here. This is the sweet tea flavor. It is the crab stick killer. Ditch your crab stick. Jump onto this Goat Kisses lip balm over at ofpfarms.com. Explore the wonderful quality of Faith Farm and Freedom products with a special limited time 15% discount on your entire purchase. Take a peek at the OFP lineup. America's go-to soap company, famous for natural ingredients for the skin-loving perks of tallow and goat milk, and a big heart for farm-to-family skincare, right? Like the Revolution soap. Smells like American independence. That's what this smells like. And I would imagine American independence didn't smell too good in a very hot room in Independence Hall in Philadelphia. But now American independence smells great. It smells like victory right here. This is the Revolution soap. Whether you're looking for gentle skincare or thoughtful gifts, these products bring together expert care and good values to make your daily routine better. Do not miss this chance to enjoy premium products that support your health and ethical choices for the whole family. Not just health and ethical choices, but you're supporting an amazing small family farm, an amazing small business here in the United States, made in America, by Americans, by folks that are right here in our chat. OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off of your entire purchase. That's OFP, Oscar Foxtrot, PapaFarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off of your entire purchase. Check them out. There's something for everybody at OFP Farms, right? There is a product for everybody there. There's the lip balm, there's the tallow, there's lotions, there's soaps. All right, everybody could use a little soap, right? Hey, especially after the arc, which was great, but we were all sweating. And we went home, used the OFP Farms soap, makes you smell beautiful again, right?
Scrub-a-dub-dub.
Little scrub-a-dub-dub. Get your butt in the tub, right? OFPfarms.com, promo code Sean, SHAWN, for 15% off. All right, here's Trump yesterday with Keir Starmer. I believe he's the Prime Minister of England now. I don't know. Europe has so many different. There's a prime minister and a king and a president and all this, and a chancellor over there somewhere. And then there's the commission president of the EU. They have all these things. Just elect somebody. Let them call the shots. Would you please go back to a king or something in Europe, whatever it was. Here's Trump and the Prime Minister of England, Keir Starmer, as Donald Trump roasts Sadiq Khan job here in, I guess this was in Scotland yesterday, I guess. It's funny, Trump has his own castle in Scotland on that golf course. But here they are, Trump and Keir Starmer. And Keir Starmer's like, well, this guy's my friend, not necessarily the person you want to call your friend. Watch this. This is hilarious.
Fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. The mayor of London. But the nasty person. I think he's done. I think he's a friend of mine, right? No, I think he's done a terrible job. But I would certainly visit London. Yeah.
Keir Starmer's like, well, he's my friend. Well, that's your problem. That's not Trump's problem. I wouldn't want to call Sadiq Khan my friend. Now, apparently, Sadiq Khan, who has presided over the Muslimification of London, is now advising Zohran Mamdani, who will, of course, preside over the Muslimification of New York City. Of course, right? The Islamification of the world's biggest cities is underway, thanks to somebody like Sadiq Khan, thanks to somebody like, Zohran Mamdani, and many on the radical left. Oh, by the way, Candace Owens is out with a brand new narcissistic statement of the week. Oh, no. Apparently, This is great.
What?
You know how the French President Macron recognized Palestine as a state, like as an official country?
Oui.
Yeah, VV.
No,
right?
No.
So you know how Macron did that?
Yeah.
And you would think, Candace Owens, who's a free Palestine freak, would appreciate that. Nope. She said that the only reason Emmanuel Macron did it was to distract from the lawsuit that they're filing against Candace Owens. So the acceptance of Palestine as a country in the eyes of France is a distraction from what Candace Owens believes is the fact that Brigitte Macron is a dude. Just everything is about Candace Owens, if you didn't know. It's unbelievable. I can't wait till she loses in court, and she's going to lose in court. All right, we're going to get to this ICE story because we love ICE. ICE, baby, in a minute. We will get to it, but before we do that, I want to get to a word from our friends over at My Patriot Supply because it is Christmas in July. Ho, ho, ho. And no, we're not talking about, never mind. Christmas in July, mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. According to the Department of Energy, blackouts could increase this year by 10,000%. Over the next few years, of course. It is because of massive energy demand from AI data centers and an aging, fragile power grid that just can't keep up. I don't know about you, but I don't like the idea of being without power, even if it's just for a day. Look, I don't even want to be without power for a few hours, okay? Not into it, especially when it's this hot out, right? That's why I want to talk to you about the Grid Doctor 3300 from My Patriot Supply. It is a powerful solar generator that runs refrigerators, AC units, medical devices, power tools, anything that you need to ride out a blackout. Again, solar generator. So it's one of these things where the sun's out, you can recharge it. Okay, now right now, for the Christmas in July event, they are including over $1,000 in free survival gear with your generator, including an emergency food supply, water filtration, survival tools, and more. So you get that Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator. You get $1,000 of additional survival tools during this Christmas in July event at mypatriotsupply.com. You got it. Over $1,000 in free gear for a limited time. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That is mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. The Grid Doctor 3300 is EMP protected and powerful enough to run fridges, medical devices, power tools, and more. And you're getting, again, over $1,000 in free survival gear when you order the Grid Doctor 3300 as part of the Christmas in July bundle. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Put this beautiful present under your tree. The Grid Doctor 3300 and $1,000 in free additional survival gear from mypatriotsupply.com. You're never going to find a better deal. I can tell you that. Nobody knows deals like I do. We love deals, and this is a tremendous deal. mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. That's mypatriotsupply.com/ungoverned. How about this? How about a little sip? How about a little sip? Who's not? Now, what are we talking about here? Wanda thinks I'm getting migraines because of toxins. What toxins am I talking about? What are we doing? I'm not sweating out toxins because I don't go outside.
Because Fonda told me don't go outside today. And I said, well, I have to mow, but I'm going to wait until it's a little cooler at the evening time. And he goes, that's what husbands are for. And I said, Sean doesn't like sweating if he doesn't have to.
I ain't going out there right now.
That's what I said.
She wants to do it. I said, I ain't going out there right now.
I actually love going out and doing it, but
when it's this hot, No. It just, I mean, let the grass grow at this point.
I like doing it.
Yeah.
But I am going to.
I like doing it too, but I don't like doing it when it's just hot.
I'm not going to do it at peak heat.
But the peak heat, no.
But sometimes I do, and then I have to take breaks, and it's a little longer.
It's sweating.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
I'm the handyman around the house.
Well, no, the handy woman. And
how do you know how I
heat,
identify?
Well, you better identify as a woman, or we're gonna have problems. All right, let's move into this ICE story. It's ICE, baby. This is a great story. Not great that. No, that's not a Breitbart article. Well, I must have been just under the influence of melatonin when I set this show up last night. Yes, I was. I did take some melatonin last night. The melatonin tea, the greatest tea. This stuff is the T-Well. What is it? The T-Well Sleepy Time, whatever it's called. It's T-Well Sleep Tea. It is so good. It is so good.
Pee on that
yeah,
word.
there was a big old pee. All right, we made the change. There's the change. ICE, baby. They have detained 4 illegal immigrant child sex offenders in New Jersey, one of whom crossed the border as an unaccompanied minor. Okay, very interesting story. All 4 illegal aliens are here, obviously, in the United States illegally and have been convicted, not accused, not alleged to have committed, convicted of child sex crimes. According to CNN, of course, I mean, you would look at a picture like this, CNN would, and say, oh, these must be 4 white guys, right? Look, there it is. Come on, get out there. This must be 4 white guys, right? There you go, of course. Here we go. Let's get into this story right here. Post-millennial, we got it. Immigration and Customs Enforcement have arrested 4 illegal immigrant child sex predators in Newark, New Jersey, in coordination with other law enforcement bodies in the ongoing Operation Apex Predator. Love it. According to ICE, you ready? We're going to do names. According to ICE, authorities with DHS arrested Gerson Jose Saenz Umana, 27-year-old El Salvadorian national, and Javier Garcia Nicolasa, a 42-year-old Mexican national, on July 21st. A few days prior, authorities took Juan Villatoro Valle from El Salvador and Reyes Peralta Salazar from Mexico into custody as well. All 4 are illegally in the United States and have been convicted. Very important. Convicted. Not alleged, not charged with, convicted, meaning a jury of their peers said that they committed child sex crimes. These are bad guys, okay? Bad hombres. I don't know why these people are always obsessed with committing child sex crimes, but they do it all the time. And these are the people that the left, right, Sasquatch, wants to keep in our country, right? Here she is, right here, right? There she is.
Yeah.
My name's Letitia.
Oh, that's Chewbacca.
Letitia James. We are suing Donald Trump for kicking illegals off of food stamps.
She is actually doing that, by the way. Big Tish, Sasquatch herself, is, she's suing the Trump administration because they are removing illegal aliens from the SNAP program, right? Why is taxpayer-funded welfare programs going to people who don't belong in the country? It is not, they have no right to that program. None. Listen, you want to say there's an American family out there falling on some hard times. We know families that have gone through this. It's okay, right? An American family that has fallen on some hard times, that needs assistance, I don't have a problem with them being on SNAP or welfare for a time being while they get their feet underneath them and get back to, get themselves back into a comfortable situation. That's what the program is there for, okay? That's what the program is there for. The program does not exist to put people like Garcia Nicolasa or Villatoro Valle or Reyes Peralta Salazar or Gerson Jose Saenz Umana, who are child sex criminals convicted of child sex crimes. They're not. The program's not there so they can eat. Kick them off. But these are the people the left wants you to believe. Oh, they're just here for a better life. They're just here for a better life. You gotta treat them like human beings. Oh, but what about the children that they didn't treat like human beings? Garcia Nicolasa was convicted on December 1st, 2023 of endangering sexual conduct with a child by caretaker and was then sentenced to 3 years in prison. Umana is a registered sex offender with a sealed criminal history that involves the exploitation of a child. the release added. Umana entered the United States at an unknown date, but his first encounter with authorities was in Texas in 2012 when he was an unaccompanied minor living in the United States illegally. Viatoro Valle, age 45, was convicted on August 2nd, 2019 of sexual assault involving a victim under the age of 13. 13. These are not, and I don't even like to use this term, but these are not, unaccompanied. These are not like minors by technicality, right? You're not talking about a 17-year-old. I'm not saying it's right if it's a 17-year-old anyway, but somebody under the age of 13 is still like a really young child. This Viatoro Valle, 45 years old, was convicted on August 2nd, 2019. So, all right, go back 6 years. Instead of 45, he's 39. Sexual assault involving a victim under the age of 13. Aggravated criminal sexual assault and endangering with sexual conduct. Additionally, Reyes Peralta Salazar, age 38, was arrested on September 14th, 2023 for criminal sexual conduct and endangering sexual conduct with a child. He was sentenced to 180 days in jail.
That's it.
Operation Apex Predator is an ongoing investigation with the Department of Homeland Security Cybercrime Center Child Exploitation Investigations Unit, that's a mouthful, which is actively seeking out illegal immigrants who are convicted sex offenders but are still residing in the United States. Those people need to leave. And you have the left who are trying to stand in the way of ICE from removing these child sex offenders from the country. Why the hell do you want people like that who are victimizing and exploiting sexually children under the age of 13 years old? What right do those people have to stay in our country? Moreover, why do you want them in our country? Evil people. The left and those people they're defending are evil people. Speaking of evil and this whole notion, right? Oh, the Trump administration and the FBI, they're covering for pedophiles. You know what's funny? I want to point out this thought process. So I see a lot of people who say the Trump administration won't release the evidence of these crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and his associates. They won't release it, right? We deserve the... And then in the same breath, I see people saying, well, we have evidence of all of these crimes. So you have evidence that won't be released? So which is it? This is my problem. There's a lot of people who think their opinions are evidence. Okay? And this is a problem that I have with essentially internet culture now. If somebody thinks something, it's evidence. Right? And I see this all the time. I'm not saying Bill Clinton is innocent. Okay? But if you're saying that the administration is not releasing evidence, then how do you have the evidence of what Bill Clinton did? Now, you have an opinion. Right? You understand what I'm saying? So, and then that got me off topic. But the point I'm trying to make here is that, again, I did it. My goodness. Wow, I must have had a bad headache last night. I must have really been in a bad state putting this.
You kept walking out and you looked like you didn't know what was going on.
I was having a rough go. It was like Joe Biden was putting the show together last night. The Trump administration, this idea that they're covering for pedophiles and covering for sex offenders and that they're, that they're pedophiles themselves and the FBI is running cover for child sex. If that's the case, why do they keep doing things like this? The FBI and the Department of Justice have arrested the ringleaders of a dark web child porn exploitation network with over 120,000 users. Now, again, do I want to see full transparency with the Epstein files? Do I want all the information that could possibly be released to come out and be available to the public? Of course I do. But what do I care about more? And what should do? In my opinion, what should everybody care about more? A dead pedophile and a ring that may not be operating in the way it used to be, or a website and a network with over 120,000 active users who are currently preying on children? What is more important right now? What poses a bigger risk to kids right now? The dead pedophile and his ring that is most likely not operating at the level that it once was, if it's operating at all, or this network with 120,000 users distributing child porn and actively exploiting kids. I would say the network with 120,000 active users is a greater threat to children than the former ring. I understand there are elites that are involved that we think were involved with Epstein's ring. I get it. We think that the government is compromised with people who were associated with that crime. I understand all of that. What I'm saying is, if you have a child, this ring that is being busted up by the FBI right now is a greater threat to your children than Bill Clinton is. Period. I don't care who that offends. I don't care. You're covering. I'm not covering for anybody. I'm telling you that the active ring like this, the active networks pose a greater threat to children in this country than formerly active networks. It's the truth. Who's a bigger threat to society? The murderer who has been put in jail for murder, or the murderer who is on the loose after just killing somebody, right? Who's a bigger threat to society? A person who committed heinous crimes and is dead, or a person who is committing heinous crimes and is alive and is active in a network right now? Obviously, the active criminal is a greater threat to society than the formerly active criminal. And that is why I like to highlight cases like this. I was the first person to say, after the botched handling of Epstein on July 6th, 2025, that I wanted Pam Bondi fired, okay? When it was unpopular to say, oh, you're criticizing the Trump administration, you must be a leftist plant. F you, okay? No, Bondi handled this. The only reason why we're still even having a conversation about Epstein, the only reason why a potential pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell is even on the table is because Pam Bondi fumbled the football and then kicked it all the way down the field. That's why, okay? Because that lady is about as incompetent as it gets, period. End of story. But the fact of the matter is, the FBI, the DOJ, yes, the DOJ under the leadership of Pam Bondi is still busting up active rings that pose a greater threat than anything that had happened back in 2005. Period. Full stop. This should be the FBI's top priority. Not releasing information about a dead guy. I'm not saying it's not significant, but I would rather them bust up active rings than give me information about a formerly active ring, or maybe a ring that isn't as active now, or maybe, just maybe, the same people are involved with this that were involved back with Epstein. Have we thought of that? Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. The Justice Department has announced the results of Operation Gray Skull, a sweeping joint investigation with the FBI that dismantled 4 dark websites dedicated to child sexual abuse material. The operation has so far resulted in 18 convictions across multiple federal districts and significant sentences for offenders involved in the distribution and advertisement of child sexual abuse material. One of the most notable sentences came last week when Thomas Peter Katsampes of Eagan, Minnesota, 52 years old, was sentenced to 250 months in prison, lifetime supervised release, and ordered to pay $23,000 in restitution. Katsampes pleaded guilty in February to conspiracy to advertise and distribute child porn. According to court records, he joined one of the dark websites in 2022, actively advertised and distributed child sexual abuse material, including material depicting prepubescent children, and eventually became a site moderator responsible for enforcing posting rules and advising others on sharing illegal content. These are the people that we need to be going after. These are the people that we need to be prioritizing in terms of going out there and arresting, because these are the people that are actively preying on children. And for everybody who cares about the victims of Jeffrey Epstein, I care about them too. And I'm just saying, if we care about the victims of child sex crimes, then we should care about the victims of all child sex crimes. And if the FBI and the Department of Justice continues to break up networks with hundreds of thousands of users like they did here with Operation Gray Skull, nabbing the leaders of these organizations, already securing 18 convictions in 5 months, that is significant. I know it's not Hillary Clinton. I know it's not Bill Gates. I know it's not Prince Andrew. I know your fantasies about what happened on the island have not been verified yet. I get it. And I'm not saying that's not important. What I am saying is things like this, who are active, organizations like this, who are actively going after children in this country, might be a little more important than the dead pedophile and the theories that you fantasize about on a nightly basis. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I want full transparency with Epstein. But before any of that happens, I want to make sure that what's going on in this country is stopped dead in its tracks, like what happened here with Operation Gray Skull. I hope that's reasonable. 120,000 active users on these dark websites in this ring, distributing child porn to one another. I'm sorry, but there's nothing more important than that in that arena. By all means, give me transparency. But please, do not sacrifice the safety of children in this country. Do not sacrifice the safety of children in this country. Do not deprioritize cases like this over the Epstein case. Okay. We are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get to the New York City. Actually, we have one more illegal alien story, and then the New York City story. Here we go. What do we got? Okay, we got to take a quick break. So Patriot Mobile. Let's get to Patriot Mobile. We'll get to Patriot Mobile in just a second. We're going to give you the New York City story coming up, and this story out of Maine. Very, very weird and dangerous story out of Maine concerning an illegal alien. Before we do that, let's get to Patriot Mobile. This is patriotmobile.com/Farish, F-A-R-A-S-H, patriotmobile.com/Farish, F-A-R-A-S-H, America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. Look, I realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are many new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for, and that is Patriot Mobile. Not only are they leading the way in the red economy, but Patriot Mobile also outgains the competition when it comes to technology. Patriot Mobile is one of the only carriers with access to all 3 major U.S. networks. That means exceptional nationwide coverage, along with the ability to have multiple numbers on different networks on a single smartphone. That's good stuff. That's some high-tech stuff right there. It's a game changer. They also offer unlimited data plans, mobile hotspots, international roaming, internet backup, and a whole lot more. Switching right now is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your home. Keep your current phone or upgrade it. You get that unlimited data plan. You're not sacrificing coverage. It's amazing. The time to make the switch is right now. It is switch o'clock. Go to patriotmobile.com/Farish or 972-PATRIOT. Use the promo code FARASH, Farish, for a free month of service. That is patriotmobile.com/FARASH or call 972-PATRIOT. That's patriotmobile.com/FARASH, patriotmobile.com/Farish or 972-PATRIOT. Promo code Farish. Make the switch today. Okay, here we go. Let us take a deep breath and understand that because I saw folks, I pride myself on being very blunt. Mm-hmm. I don't think it could be misunderstood, although it may have been, that in cases like this should take top priority. Top priority does not mean sole priority, right? That's why I said top priority, not sole priority.
You even still said the thing before was still important.
I think I said it about 20 times. Yeah. But when I say that I believe Epstein is important, but that this is more important, that does not mean that I think Epstein isn't important. I just think it's not as important because this is active and Epstein's dead. Listen, can Jeffrey Epstein today prey on a child? No. Unless you think he's alive. Some people think he's alive in witness protection. I don't know why. I don't think he's alive. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein cannot prey on a child today. Can associates of Jeffrey Epstein who are still alive prey on children today? Yes. Maybe they're a part of this. I don't know. But when there's a network of 120,000 people, there were not 120,000 associates with Jeffrey Epstein. There were not 120,000 associates with Jeffrey Epstein. This is a larger ring than what was being, financed, if you want to say that, by Epstein. It's a larger ring. 120,000 active users in this network. It's pretty significant. Okay? I would say, due to the size and the volume of activity in that network, that they pose a greater risk to children than Jeffrey Epstein does. Because Jeffrey Epstein's network was not that big. Unless now it was that big, because we have to find a way to make this less important. Fine, whatever. Jeffrey Epstein's network was not that big. It's the first time I'm hearing that it would be 120,000 people big. Okay, and he's dead. These people aren't dead. They're being arrested and put in jail. These websites are still active. Just because I say that should be priority number one, that doesn't mean I think it should be the only priority. And I thought I was clear about that, but I'll clear it up there. Okay. Pure Health Research. That's what we got to do. We got purehealthresearch.com/LFA or promo code LFA. Purehealthresearch.com. It's a message from the great Jeremy Harrell. Purehealthresearch.com, promo code LFA. Take a listen to this. Some targeted products for your health at purehealthresearch.com.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got an incredible offer here for you from Pure Health Research. This is going to blow your mind. Look, I know so many people out there, especially as we get older, we want to drop a few pounds. We lose a little energy. We lose a little testosterone. We lose a little, estrogen. We just lose as we get older. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to gain, and this message is just for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to what? Make America healthy again. They are aligned with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s mission, and I'm aligned with that. Their two best-selling health supplements right now that are leading the way is the liver health formula. Over 100 million Americans are sluggish because of a liver that is riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on pounds, make you feel tired. All that liver health formula will take care of that. It supports your liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down. Next is the lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, been there, done that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be for you. The natural ingredient in the lymph system formula helps gently flush extra fluids and toxins out of the body. Right now, you can get a limited time offer, 35% off right now. 35% off by going to purehealthresearch.com and using promo code LFA. That's Pure Health Research right now. Use promo code LFA and you'll get 35% off targeted products. I need something for this. I need something for that. They got it. And I want you to check out their reviews online. They are through the roof. purehealthresearch.com. Promo code LFA.
PureHealthResearch.com, promo code LFA. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Pure Health Research, for being a part of the show. We appreciate that. I want to get into this story now in New York. Not New York, in Maine. Then we'll get into New York City. This is a bizarre story. We talked about this happening. I don't remember what state it was. It might have been Minnesota, one of those northern states. Michigan, maybe. But apparently this happened here in Maine. Up in the Northeast there. It's an odd state. You would expect it to be like a red-ish state, but it's not. Susan Collins keeps getting elected, etc. But an illegal immigrant in Maine from Jamaica, Jamaica me crazy, was caught working as a police officer in the state of Maine while attempting to buy a firearm. You can't buy a firearm. You're an illegal alien. So let me get this straight. All right, nobody's above the law. We'll get the rooster out of here, okay? Let's just throw Chewbacca. Just figured I put that up. It's got to be their fault somehow anyway. So nobody's above the law, right? So you have a Jamaican illegal alien working as a law enforcement officer. So you have somebody whose first act in this country was illegal. It was a crime when you crossed the border and entered the country illegally. You're a criminal right now, working as a police officer. How the heck can something like this happen? So somebody who can't follow the law himself has the power to arrest people in Maine for breaking the law. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement arrested a Jamaican national for allegedly attempting to purchase a firearm illegally while employed as a reserve police officer in Old Orchard Beach. According to ICE's enforcement and removal operations in Boston, John Luke Evans was taken into custody with assistance from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives after his firearm purchase raised concerns tied to his immigration status on July 21st in Bidford. Authorities say Evans legally entered the United States through Miami International Airport on September 24, 2023, under a visa that required his departure by October 1st, 2023. He failed to leave as required and has remained in the country unlawfully since. During the investigation, Evans reportedly claimed he was seeking to purchase the firearm for use in his role with the Old Orchard Beach Police Department. ICE officials are now questioning how an individual without lawful immigration status was hired by a local police agency and possibly issued a department-issued weapon. How is this happening? How is somebody who can't follow the law himself being given the power and the authority to enforce the law? This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I think this happened, or there were rumors about, I don't remember what state it was, but last year we talked about this story where like there were illegal aliens, and I think it was Minnesota, and they were saying, we're gonna bring them on as members of the police force, and we're gonna let them join the military. Like, have we not studied like the fall of Rome and like the military coup? And so you're telling me somebody who crossed the border illegally, in this guy's case, he overstayed a visa. You're telling me you trust that person to enforce the law when they can't follow the law themselves? I don't like that. I don't think that's cool at all. I don't think that's cool at all. We say that's a real cop right there. Okay? The rooster. We say nobody is above the law, right? Nobody is above the law. You see the rooster right there? That rooster says nobody's above the law. Apparently, though, illegal aliens are super citizens. They're allowed to get welfare. I can't believe this either. You have leftists right now. These are the same people. Oh, everybody deserves universal basic income. Everybody deserves, checks from the government. And now we want to give it to people that aren't American citizens? Why? Why does an illegal alien who is in this country, obviously illegally, it's in the term, why do they deserve welfare benefits from the American taxpayer? There is nothing you tell me would make sense arguing in favor of that. Oh, they deserve humane treatment. But they're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here. It's like somebody with no money walking into a steakhouse demanding a steak. Do you have the money to pay for the steak? No. Then you don't get a steak. Here's Sasquatch, Letitia James, who looks like she's been eating a little bit, announcing that she's suing the Trump administration to keep illegal aliens on welfare, to keep giving them SNAP benefits. These are people who do not contribute to the system. They are not supposed to be in our country. They are actively stealing from Americans in need. You understand this, right? There are American families who need and rely on right now, because they've fallen on hard times, these SNAP benefits. These are the same SNAP benefits that the left went crazy over and said, oh my gosh, you're telling Americans they can't buy soda. You're telling Americans they can't buy ice cream. Well, the N in SNAP stands for nutrition. Okay? There's nothing nutritional about ice cream and soda. Okay? Junk food, alcohol. Well, you can't buy alcohol on SNAP, but you get the point. They're like, oh, American families are being kicked off. You are part of the reason why American families can't rely on SNAP, because you're putting people on SNAP that shouldn't be here and therefore shouldn't have access to that program. Here's Letitia James, and she's being applauded by the left over this lawsuit against the Trump administration, which I'm sure they're going to judge shop, to keep illegal aliens on SNAP benefits. Listen to this.
Thank you, Attorney General Bonta. The SNAP program is a critical lifeline for tens of millions of Americans throughout our country, and specifically 2.9 New Yorkers. Every day, SNAP benefits make it possible for working families to afford to put food on the table. And more than half of those who receive SNAP are families with children, and more than a third have elderly or disabled family members. Without SNAP, many families would not be able to count on their next meal. For decades, SNAP has prevented people from going hungry and saved countless lives. But now, this administration is attempting to use this program as a tool in their cruel and chaotic targeting of immigrants. It is outrageous. It is unacceptable. And this administration has demanded that states hand over sensitive personal information of all SNAP recipients going back to 2020. That includes addresses, social security numbers, immigration statuses, and more. This is not for research or to improve a service that millions count on. No, they are basically trying to weaponize the SNAP program against immigrant communities in violation of the law. And we collectively will not stand for it. That is the administration's plans, and they have made it abundantly clear. They even removed a notice on the USDA's website that promised people could apply for and receive SNAP benefits without immigration consequences. We will not allow this life-saving program to be illegally used to hunt down immigrants and their families. No one should fear for their safety when they seek food assistance for their families. And this administration cannot intimidate vulnerable families and prevent them from putting food on the table. Today, Attorney General Bonta, Attorney General Dana Nessel, and I are co-leading a coalition of our fellow Democratic attorneys general in suing this administration to protect SNAP and the sensitive personal information of all of its recipients. The federal government's demand that states turn over SNAP recipients' data is flat out illegal. In fact,
Don't feed the Sasquatch. Letitia James is eating too much. Maybe she's getting too many SNAP benefits. Don't feed the Sasquatch. That's one of the best props Brennan ever got me. Don't feed the Sasquatch. Okay. T-Man 1202. I saw many comments in the chat. She's mentioning immigrants. If you're not here illegally, you have nothing to worry about. If you're here illegally and you are on or using the SNAP program to feed yourself, you have something to worry about. Because you shouldn't be doing that, right, Tish? Isn't this your favorite phrase? Nobody's above the law, right? Except super citizen illegal aliens. They are above the law, according to Big Tish, right? According to Sasquatch with Atchaffoya disease. She said, boom, boom. Flounder, right? She looks like a flounder.
She does.
You know? It is, folks, it is just unbelievable that this is how far the left is, and she doesn't mention the word illegal. If you are a legal immigrant and you're here in full accordance with the law and you find yourself in need of assistance and you're relying on the SNAP program, I don't have a problem with that. Nobody has a problem with that. It's when you exploit the U.S. taxpayer, whether it is through SNAP or Medicaid or anything else, and that, by the way, if you're a legal citizen here and you're exploiting the U.S. taxpayer, I'm upset with you too. But I am more upset with somebody who comes here illegally and then jumps on this program, and now we are subsidizing their life. No, not cool. I'm not for that. That needs to be stopped. And if we could track down offenders through and folks who are here illegally, through obtaining their information through SNAP and that's going to result in them getting off of that program, and people who need to be on that program aren't bypassed and aren't basically thrown to the back of the line, then I'm all for it. Letitia James, at you for you. One eye looking at you, one eye looking for you. All right. I want to get to a word from our friends over at Silent. We talked about the surveillance right there at Snap. By the way, Curtis Sliwa is now saying that in New York City, this is unbelievable. He's the Republican candidate for mayor. You want to know why I think he's an unserious candidate? This is why. Says, oh yeah, we should be using facial recognition in New York City to help fight crime. What kind of Republican candidate says that kind of bull crap?
That's what they do in communist China.
That's what they do in China. China? We can't. What? No. You're not. You can't run as a Republican and say things like this. Not that it's gonna, not that he's gonna win in New York City.
Bots.
Well, he's doing bots. Whatever the hell it is, right? Freaking out of his mind. All right, between the government, the reason I mention that is because Silent wants to prevent this type of tracking from happening in society. Between the government, big tech, corporate America, and criminals, and apparently Curtis Sliwa, your privacy is compromised 24/7. There's no other option. You've got to protect yourself, and that starts with Silent. Silent's Faraday products block all incoming and outgoing signals so that your devices are invisible and safe from the outside world. From their backpacks, phone sleeves, and even pants, their patented signal blocking technology blocks wireless signals, giving you the peace of mind that your data does not end up in the wrong hands. Look, all you got to do with Silent's Faraday products is put your device inside, close the product, and that's all you've got to do. You are safeguarded from unauthorized access. It stops all signals, both in and out. It blocks the radiation from those devices if you're worried about things like that. It prevents you from being tracked and hacked. There's people, they sit in these public places and they point some sort of device at other people walking by to steal their information right off of their phone. This will prevent that from happening. It used to happen a lot in shopping malls. Now I guess it'll happen in wherever the public gathers now. Go Silent today at slnt.com/Sean, SHAWN, to save 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That is Silent, slnt.com/Sean. Protect yourself, right? Protect yourself today. Silent.com/Sean for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. That's Silent, slnt.com/SHAWN for 15% off and free shipping on qualifying orders. All right, yesterday a New York City police officer was killed by a deranged lunatic. Of course, CNN referred to this deranged lunatic as probably white. Have you seen a picture of this guy? Can I put the picture up? Does this guy look probably white to you? I didn't think so. Now, apparently, this guy was trying to target the NFL headquarters. He had some sort of motive that was related to the whole concussion, mental health, CTE debate with the NFL. His name is Shane Tamura. The New York Post killed 4 people at the Blackstone building on 51st Street and Park Avenue, and he was trying to carry out this terrorist attack, this act of terror, at the NFL headquarters, which is in the same building. He apparently went to the wrong floor, and a New York City police officer was killed. Didarul Islam is the name of the New York City police officer, NYPD officer, killed in a line of duty by this lunatic. He drove from Las Vegas all the way to New York, 27 years old, and was identified as the shooter by sources on the scene. from Vegas. He had a permit to carry a firearm, but it was apparently a high school football player, a running back in California, and was working as a private investigator in Las Vegas, and apparently went off his rocker. I don't know if he had a concussion history or why he thought it was necessary. Apparently in his suicide note, he said things along the lines of, they'll squash you for speaking out against concussions and how unsafe football is. And football is definitely a violent sport. But, when you're a child and your parents are allowing kids to play tackle football, the risk, right? And I'm not saying that it's cool that these kids are getting concussions and that there's all these injuries and that it does play a role. Obviously Junior Seau, Aaron Hernandez, so many people, with CTE and the impact that concussions have on people's long-term mental health. But what you're signing up for when you get into a sport like football, right? And I know the NFL wants to cover up as much as they can how dangerous this is for their players, but just to commit a senseless act like this, that doesn't help the cause. So this dude snapped, and he wanted to target the NFL because he apparently believed that the NFL was exploiting. I don't know. These stories just get me so fired up because this is the real root of the problem in society, is that everybody has some sort of victim complex, right? And they've got to take it out on somebody. I'm a victim of this, therefore I hate this. I'm a victim of that, therefore I hate that. This person is oppressing me, therefore I must revolt against. Not all the time is that true. And this victim complex that has been essentially embedded in people's minds have made people so angry to the point of manipulating them and convincing them that what this guy did was the answer. And it's not. And unfortunately, this is going to continue until we fix that problem. That's why critical race theory was so dangerous, because you have the black on white crime because people have been told to hate white people because apparently white people are oppressive. It's dangerous. It radicalizes people. And that's what you saw, unfortunately. And now a New York City police officer is dead because of it, as well as 4 other people. Terrible. All right. Jeremy Harrell is coming up next. Before we get to Jeremy, remember to go over to the LFA TV store. A lot of people loved the I Don't Really Care Margaret shirt. Maybe it's because I look so good in it. Maybe it's because I sweat through it at the Arc. The I Don't Really Care Margaret shirt and so many other shirts are available here at the LFA TV store. That is LFATV.us, LFATV.us, or JeremyHarrell.com/store. Jeremy Harrell is coming up next here on on LFA TV with Live from America for the next 2 hours. Enjoy that show. Don't go anywhere. We're back here tomorrow, same time, same place, rumble.com/LFA TV at 10 a.m. Eastern time. We'll have, it was a story I wanted to get to today about AI chatbots. We'll get to that tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow morning. Rumble.com/LFA TV. Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're reposting wherever you're watching from. We appreciate it. It helps us fly up the charts. Until then, have a great rest of your day. As President Trump would say, we will never give up. We will never give in. We will never ever surrender. If all else fails, we'll just become ungovernable. Jeremy Harrell up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you tomorrow.